Hi, my name is Matt Deus, and I'm the developer of Cathedral 3D. Cathedral 3D is an homage to games that I used to play when I was growing up. The game title and aesthetics are references to Catacomb 3D, a game from ID Software that precedes Doom. The custom graphic engine and its fast, fluid combat system were inspired by all the years I spent playing Quake. Last but not least, the arcade gameplay style is inspired by the indie game Devil Daggers. Cathedral 3D is my first game. It's mostly a solo project, but I couldn't help without the support of my friend Mihal, who made all the sound design and composed the background music. There are also numerous people who helped with playtesting and provided design suggestions. Cathedral 3D has been in development for the last 2 years. The game is using my own game engine, which I've been developing a hobby project for the last 6 years. It's a lot of work, but also a lot of fun. The game at its core is a wave-based arena shooter. The player becomes a terrifying, fire-breathing monster who lives in an abandoned Gothic cathedral floating in the sky. The player has to defend themselves from incoming waves of human enemies that come to slay the beast. One of the main player's strengths is the movement system with the double jump ability. It allows the player to move very dynamically throughout the entire arena and provides a key advantage over enemies. It was very important to me to create a movement system, which lets the player feel like they have total control over the character's movement, even when jumping. This allows the game to have even more vertical gameplay than most of the other FPS games. To make things more interesting, the player also has a major disadvantage that is unique to Cathedral 3D as compared to other single-player arena shooters. The monster's heart has been locked inside a chest. The player not only has to defend themselves from the enemies, the chest must also be protected at all costs. The main motivation behind this mechanic was to introduce more diversity into the gameplay. When the player is holding the chest, they cannot attack. This choice divides the gameplay into 2 major modes: fighting with incoming enemies and running away with the chest, trying to gather items scattered throughout the arena and gain an advantage over the crowd of enemies. Cathedral 3D doesn't really try to copy the old retro FPS games. The aim behind the design of Cathedral 3D was to start with design choices of retro FPS games and explore how they can be altered to provide a novel game experience. I hope that every retro FPS fan that will play Cathedral 3D will find something both new and familiar in the game.